Hi, Julia.
Hi, Aya. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I have this new drink that I'm drinking. It's called grapefruit flavored sparkling water. It's by Best Choice, so it's very inexpensive. And the only reason I got it was because um, the soda water that I was just so used to getting, the club soda,
Yeah.
it was, they
It
ran out
wasn't
of it.
there. Oh, that's too
What?
bad. Is this one from Walmart too, or?
No, it's from a country store that I like to go to.
See, I love that though because sometimes at these markets there are things like, okay, I don't know if you remember the Springfield brand, but sometimes the Springfield brand, and I would only find it at this one small store, kind of like what you guys have in your area, and they had pretty reasonable deals on different things. They had club soda, they had other things, so it's kind of a similar. It just reminds me of that.
Well, it looks like you have an interesting thing there that you're drinking. What is that?
This one, it's bubbly, so I get these at Walmart
Oh,
too. Like it's just a sparkly water. I think it's a PepsiCo brand, but I just like sparkly water. And we never like we used to love the Arrowhead. They have a local one, but I can't find it anywhere anymore. Like you used to be able to find it at Walmart, and then they discontinued carrying all the Arrowhead waters there. And then ever since all the pandemic started, like I can't find Arrowhead water at Food for Less either. So bubbly, I can always find, but we like Arrowhead a little bit better because it's a little bit more sparkly. Like the bubbles are better. I don't know if you like really bubbly water or just moderately bubbly, but we like it really
I
bubbly.
like it. I like it really bubbly. I like to feel it on my tongue.
Yeah, so maybe I should try the soda water too because I like those as well. But I
Yeah.
just tried. I play with different things, and these were on sale. I think for like $2.89 or something for a 8 pack.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I think ours is like about something like $3 for um I think it's a 12 pack. But
That's cool. I really like Walmart. Like, I mean, for shopping, I know, like, but they have good deals. And why am I going to pay $5 for something at one store when I can get it at Walmart for 3?
right. And some of my books are available at Walmart. You have a very nice shirt on today that
Oh
reminds me
yeah,
when
I'm
a book.
wearing the vacuum county shirt, and I really like this one. It's very illustrative of the what what would you say the cover like? What's the theme that goes with the
Well,
book?
it's the Mount Carmel massacre. It's behind the bull, and the bull represents, the judgment of the gods about how wrong that was.
Wow, that's very deep, and it kind of segues into a lot of what's going on right now. Like, the more you've talked about that, I feel really bad for those people. Like, the more I think about it, it makes me really sad that nobody really cares about them or what happened to them. And I'm sure their families still feel bad about that to this day, don't you think? Like, extended
Yeah,
family members.
that's why, every time somebody else gets killed unjustly,
Hmm.
uh, it reminds me of them. And I think their names ought to be mentioned too. And there were so many of them. So, to just choose one person to stand for all the unjustly killed people is in a way kind of strange, don't you think?
I think it's kind of strange. I think, well, I was trying to be quiet about a lot of this, but I did start talking this morning. I said, why are we only talking about one kind of injustice or towards one person when there's many types of injustice? And wouldn't it do us all better to maybe talk about the civil liberties aspect of that and just libertarian ideas? But I think people don't want to acknowledge maybe the people in power that they vote for are the ones that create this dynamic, but they really don't want to acknowledge that, do
Yeah.
they?
So, for instance, your governor,
Yes,
Governor Newsom,
Gavin Newsom. No, I don't like him at all. I'm going to be honest with you. What is there to like about him?
well, he just now single-handedly passed a rule, apparently by executive order, that everybody in the entire state has to wear a mask. Um, how is that going to be enforced if we're going to let the police force go? Well, obviously, we're that is asking for more conflicts between ordinary people and the police. And
Yes.
if there is prejudice against any group of people, whether they're Black or Hispanic or anything else, or look different in some way or
Yes.
act different in some way, this is just another excuse to bash their face in, you know?
It definitely is. And I was trying to explain that to people on my page. And that's why, okay, I felt like maybe I wasted my morning. But then when you remind me of that, maybe I didn't, because I thought of that video where the young 22-year-old girl, and by the way, she happens to be African American, I believe, was tackled to the ground by like 4 police officers because she wasn't wearing her mask properly in front of her son. And I said, okay, so when people like get all delighted and they're like, well, I think people should get cited for not wearing a mask, you know, something like that's going to happen, and they don't seem to realize or care or think. Like, on one hand, they're saying we don't want police brutality, but on another hand, they're saying we want people to be cited. So who's going to cite them, Maya? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to me. And by the way, this started in China. They started tackling people to the ground in China a few months back. In February, there was a woman that was tackled to the ground wearing like a red dress. Like, she didn't look threatening or anything, but she wasn't wearing a mask, and they tackled her to the ground because she wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, so all of that is very scary. And as I mention every once in a while, I belong to this group that is supposed to be for people to share information about COVID-19 and how to protect yourself against it and how to deal with different situations. So I asked for some information about masks and about alternatives to masks for
Yeah, exactly.
people like myself. I don't breathe very well. So if you've been following my channel at all, and when I get on these talking live streams, every once in a while I just choke up. It's not because I'm terribly sick or anything, but my breathing is not optimal, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. And a lot of people do have shortness of breath. This is an actual issue. It comes
Yeah.
up more often now with the mask, actually.
So a lot of people in that group said, listen, if your asthma is so bad that you can't wear a mask, you shouldn't go anywhere. You just stay home forever.
Oh, okay. Well, isn't that what they were mad at us saying a few months ago? Like, if somebody was worried about getting COVID-19, that maybe, like, I just suggested, well, if me personally, like my parents, I'm thinking about my parents, by the way, they
Yeah.
don't want to go anywhere because I think that they would be okay. But they have just decided in this point in their life, they're very introverted. They just love being at home anyway. They've just decided they're not going to leave their house anymore. That's their choice. That's fine. I kind of like being home too, but they are not leaving, period. Like, they're just going to stay home for I don't know how long. But anyway, like,
Yeah,
I thought, well,
my mother is like that, but she's
yeah, and it's
85.
fine.
Yeah.
But this is the thing I don't get. People were mad when somebody suggested, well, if you're worried about getting COVID-19, maybe you should stay home. But now that they're enforcing the mask, they're saying anybody who doesn't want to wear the mask should stay home. But so that's kind of what we were talking about in our last live stream about the double standard. So you don't like when somebody tells you that, but then you'll turn around and tell someone else. I don't.
Yeah, so I was looking into other alternatives in places where they say you have to have a face covering, and they're not very specific about what the face covering is. Now, of course, I have that silly mask for Halloween that covers my entire face.
That one's fun, yeah.
I was advised by certain young people that I'll probably get shot if I wear that. So
Yeah.
I was looking into not face masks, but what they're called face
Oh yeah, the face
shields.
shield. And I saw somebody shopping with one actually on Monday.
So they look less threatening because let me tell you what my thoughts are, and then you can tell me what you think, and then
Okay.
look at a description on Amazon of face shields that are available, because I ordered some. But basically, I thought, well, if you are going to shield your face, I would want to shield my eyes as well as my nose and mouth, because somebody could spit in your eye, not on purpose. Sometimes I talk to people and they spit in my eye.
Mhm.
And
Some people
sometimes,
do. This is true.
so if we're really worried about this, that's a serious concern, right? Um, you don't want to get anything in your eye. You could get an infection. Um, so why not? Why not shield your entire face? And the other thing is, it's not airtight. So, it might go all the way down here, but from the side, air can come in and you don't feel like you're suffocating, and it's not going to fog over either.
Exactly. And if you have glasses or any type of tender headedness, or glasses plus mask creates that headache that people don't want to acknowledge, which, by the way, I think we read something where it says, yes, it does create the headache, but people are telling me I'm wrong, or they're just like, you can't share your opinion on this, even though I'm like, oh, so I work like 8 hours in 100-degree heat, but you're telling me I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah, and somebody in the group was laughing and saying, "Oh, people are afraid of carbon monoxide poisoning." Well, it's not carbon monoxide; it's carbon dioxide, which is what we
Yes.
exhale.
Why don't they get it right if they're such like detailed?
Yeah, so we do exhale things that are not good for us. They might be great for the trees, but why don't we just let it go into the atmosphere so the trees can enjoy that, rather than keeping it close to our face, right?
Exactly. So okay. I think the face shield seems like a nice alternative. I don't know what the problem with it is. Like, what's the problem?
Uh, well, they said some of the people in the group said it's not going to do anything. And I said, well, I don't, but I don't know what it is that they're expecting for it to do. Sometimes I think they want it to block the view of your face. And they want you not to be able to communicate with people who read lips.
Mm-hmm.
They want you not to be able to express that everything is okay and you're smiling and you're not angry with anybody.
Yeah.
Um, they want you to be cut off from facial expression.
That's what I feel like. And we have to acknowledge, and everybody who keeps pushing this narrative that, well, in China, they wear masks. Yes, they do. But it's also a social, cultural thing where people don't want to show their face and they want to anonymize themselves. And why do we have to change our culture to take on another culture? Because the Chinese are not going to adopt everything in American culture. Why do we want to do that?
Yeah. But anyway, they told me these masks are no good, these face shields. But I shared a post that's been going around with regard to two different kinds of masks, with two different kinds of purposes. And according to this person who says he's OSHA certified, he or she is OSHA certified, you're not supposed to use a mask that is intended for one purpose to achieve the opposite. So one mask, and he called it the N95, is intended to go into contaminated areas, and the purpose is to shield the person who has the mask on from the contamination in the environment. Therefore, when he breathes in, there's a filter filtering out all the contaminants. But when he breathes out, there's no filter because you're not trying to shield the contaminated environment from the exhale of this person. Okay? So this is good to protect someone from something outside of himself. But it does nothing for everybody else. If that person happens to be sick, happens to have COVID-19, then that person is going to pass that on to everybody else in the exhale. There's no filter on that. There's only a filter going in. And then there's the other kind of mask. It's called the surgical mask. That one is in fact intended to protect the patient from the doctor, only it's supposed to be in a very sterile surgical environment for a short period of time. And the reason is you're cutting the patient open. There are parts that are very vulnerable to ordinary germs that every person, including the surgeon, has, and you're shielding that open area, the body cavity that is being operated on, from this contamination. So it in fact is intended to keep the exhale of the doctor in so it doesn't go into the patient, but you can only wear those for a short period of time because the doctor needs to get out of there and breathe properly later. Okay?
Yeah, no, I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, so these are perfectly legitimate reasons to have a mask. These are perfectly legitimate uses of a mask. And OSHA, prior to the COVID-19 atmosphere, cautioned people not to confuse the two uses and the two types of mask. Because if you use it for the wrong purpose, it's not going to do what you want it to do.
That's interesting to know. See, but also like the World Health Organization said up until recently, I guess they changed their stance recently, but nobody seems to know that up until recently, they said healthy individuals didn't need to wear the mask, but that was up to the municipality or country that you lived in. But to me, I could be totally wrong. It feels like they changed that narrative because they got a lot of criticism.
Well,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I think at one point somebody, actually one of the authorities said, yes, okay, we told you not to wear masks because we were saving those for the medical teams, and we were afraid if there were a run on the market, then nobody could get the mask. But the question is, which masks? Were those the masks that were supposed to protect the doctors and nurses from contaminated patients, or were those the masks that were supposed to protect the patient from the doctor operating on the patient? Because those are two different kinds of things. And now all these masks are being conflated, and you're told you can wear a cloth mask that your grandma gave you, or you can wear a surgical mask, or you can wear an N95 mask with a filter on it, and they don't seem to make any of these distinctions. But suddenly
they just want your mouth covered, basically. Like it's kind of like a muzzle. It looks like a muzzle to me sometimes.
Yeah, but why? Okay, if that group of people are really interested in the truth with regard to how to best to protect ourselves and other people and show concern for other people, then why don't they care about these distinctions? And there was
they don't really care. Can I be honest? I'm so sick of this. Like, people are running around Facebook saying, I'm a good person. I care about other people. Do you really? I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but when they what are they saying, that anybody who doesn't really just get on board with it doesn't care about other people? Because that's basically what it seems like to me. I could be wrong, but
well, so somebody said, well, if you have asthma, maybe get an N95 respirator type thing that will allow you to breathe easier. And I said, but how would that show consideration for other people if I'll be spewing out everything that, all of my exhale, and yet everybody is saying show consideration for other people? And so this other lady came by and said, oh, it doesn't matter. This person is talking too technically. We don't need any kind of filters. We just want the water particles, or the liquid particles.
Oh, the respiratory particles, like the respiratory droplets. The respiratory droplets. Yes.
Yes, we want those not to go from one person to another. And I said, well, yes, that's what a filter does. It would be keeping those not going through. So what a filter does, it allows some of the air to pass through, but not all the particles in the air.
I'm gonna do a little experiment sometime soon where I'm gonna get a mask and a squirt bottle, and I'm gonna start squirting through it and see like what goes through, just to show people like, what do you think this is?
Well, what they said was that after you exhale a couple of times, that moisture goes into the mask and it becomes very musty. And,
Oh yes.
and then it can grow fungus,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's going to cause respiratory infections.
Do you know what happened the first week I was wearing the mask? I got a sore in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be all graphic and everything,
Yeah.
but that has never happened to me in my entire life.
Yeah, it is not healthy to do this on a regular basis. And even surgeons only wear that mask one time during surgery, and then they throw it away as far as I know.
Yeah, they do. And okay, and here's another thing too. I know there's different types of masks, different ways to wear the mask. Well, some people are just getting so obsessed with this. They're like, oh, no, 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 no. You're not supposed to touch your face like ever again if you're wearing a mask. But I hate to tell you this, none of these masks fit quite right. And I have agreed with other people. So I feel like I end up touching my face more than I ever would wearing the mask.
Right. The way this is starting out to be is it's like a diaper for your face.
Oh.
And, you know, we know that when we put diapers on our children, this causes rashes. It causes all sorts of unpleasantness because babies were not designed to keep what comes out close to their body.
Yeah.
So we do this for the sake of society, and because we've got carpets, and because we can't just, when we see an infant starting to pee, we can't just, you know, move it aside a little bit the way people were designed to do, you know.
Yeah, the way that I think some cultures still kind of.
Yeah, so you can see what the baby's doing, and after a while the baby gets used to being, so without diapers, children become potty trained much sooner because they have more say in where they go, you know. But
Exactly.
yeah, but now we're being told that we can't take the mask off except when we go to the bathroom. That's crazy.
That's crazy. But here's another thing. Okay, so you go to the bathroom and you take off the mask and you're breathing. When did the respiratory droplets get into the bathroom?
Of course.
And here's another thing. They said public bathrooms might spread COVID-19. So guess what they were doing? They were shutting down a lot of public bathrooms. And the only place you could find them would be like Walmart, which is like cruel and unusual punishment to like truck drivers and stuff. But, oh, that's okay. They don't matter even though they're like trucking all your supplies across the country. That's just weird. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's terrible. It's horrible for anybody who has to go, you know?
Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of things about this new era that make no sense to me. Okay, and the part that I just in my mind know that I'm right about, and nobody has to agree with me, because I know a logical people will, is okay, you're going to a restaurant, la la la, you want to eat out, which to me, I don't think I really want to do that. I don't want to eat at a restaurant. I just don't think that seems like a great idea right now. Personally, like being close to people, if you're worried about respiratory droplets and the contagion of the virus, I just don't think that's a great idea. Personally, not right now. Like maybe takeaway, yes, but in the restaurant dining hall.
I mean, if you can
by yourself, if you could do it alone, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Get a reservation for just yourself and your friend at a restaurant, then that is better than we ever had it, because as far as I'm concerned, I never wanted to be in a crowded restaurant.
Oh no, you wouldn't, and you did. I think it's smart to do it that way, but I'm just thinking of like Applebee's. I see a lot of people going there now again, and they're all wearing their masks when they go in, but then you sit down and you take it off and you're eating, and I'm thinking you know, when people eat and they're socializing, the respiratory droplets are not going to be contained in that little area. That's all I'm thinking. So it just makes the mask seem null and void to me.
Right. Yeah. So did you want to screen share what's available on Amazon in terms of face shields and masks, and see how they're described?
Okay, we definitely can do that. Let me go to the. Okay. Oh, interesting. So let me go into screen share. Oh, it says that you've disabled screen share.
Well, I haven't, but what should I do?
Let me see. Do you need to like allow guests to screen share?
Okay,
I
where
don't
do
know
you
why it's
that?
doing that. That's strange. Let me
Oh,
try again. Maybe in your settings you have to allow a participant to screen share, or is it giving you a notification that I want to screen share on your end?
No.
Let me see. This is weird. Like Zoom keeps changing. There's a lot of things about it. Try it again.
Okay, well, I'll try to find it and then I'll share it. Okay, let's see if I can do that. So I'm going to go into Amazon. Okay, the official site, and then I'm going to look for face shield.
Yeah, I just typed in face shield and it brought up quite a few. It seems like they have pretty good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are for doctors, so I don't, or they look like you could wear it in a medical setting. So I would be like, seems like a good thing if you're worried about respiratory droplets.
Okay, I'm going to try to share that now.
Okay.
Tell me if
Oh,
it.
yes, I see it. That's exactly where I was earlier.
Okay, good. So Wet Shield Vision Clear Face Shield for personal protection. This product has not been approved by the FDA. Full height wraparound design, no obstructed views with no perceptible distortion. Lightweight, easy to hand clean with comfort to wear daily. Designed, engineered, manufactured in Los Angeles, California, shipped from the USA. So those are all good things, right?
Okay, and it's made in the USA, so I'd be like, what's wrong with that? Like, it's made domestically. Wouldn't that be better than a face mask that you're buying from China? But hey, I don't know.
And they have a video for related products. It's called the 9 Best Face Shields. Do you think that would play?
That might, you could try it and see.
Okay. Can you see it? Well, I don't know. I don't know if you could even hear that. Did you hear it?
I heard a little bit. It went like, ooh, like I heard a little bit of background music.
Oh, okay. Well, I think maybe that's just too much. So now I'm going to look for N95.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, it says coronavirus protection. Learn more about coronavirus protective measure. Okay, so it's got this Hong Yao. Can you see that?
Yeah, I see that. Oh man, I want some hung yao. It sounds like a really edible.
Okay, so it's a reusable dust breathing M ear loop, dust M, with activated carbon filter and valves for allergy, woodworking, mowing, outdoor activities, etc. And it's black.
Huh.
Okay, I wonder if anybody reviewed it. Okay, Scott, 40% 5-star.
They said it's not in N95.
Yeah.
Somebody just said it wasn't it, and I just saw that. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the problem with a lot of these masks. Like people buy them and they don't fit. You know, I have a small face, and almost every mask I find doesn't fit my face. This is a problem. Like I don't, my face is not completely like an adult size face. I say it's between like maybe a child and adult, like somewhere in betweenish.
Uh-huh.
And I have this problem where, and I'm thinking you probably would have the same problem as me because we're more on the petite side. I don't think that these masks fit our face that well, but that's just my take on it.
Yeah. So, yeah, there are all sorts of issues, and it's not really an N95, is it?
Nope.
Okay.
But
Well,
they can market it as anything they want.
yeah. Okay, so that was the face shield, and then can move forward to the mask. I don't know how I got there so fast to this mask. Okay. So anyway, there
And
are
then there's,
surgical masks, right? That's what these are?
they say that those are surgical masks, but then when I bought the box, it says on the side, these are not surgical masks. They look like a surgical mask, but they're a little bit more flimsy, and you have to be really careful with them because the ear loops can pull off easily. And sometimes in a box, like people will write reviews, detached ear loops. I've been okay. I have had pretty good luck. But the problem is, okay, I bought some at CVS. They fit perfectly. They were like perfect for a smaller face. Then these ones I got from Walmart, they were too big. So I don't know. I just never can win. Like, and why do I have to think about this every day? I don't, it's just too much.
And then they have a book for homemade face masks. It's a 25 do-it-yourself.
Yeah, you know, people can make a lot of, yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
funny, but you could.
I'm going to stop sharing. I don't think
Yeah.
we're going to learn that much. And anyway, we do have something else that you and I need to do after this particular live stream.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
we're running out of time. So wrapping up, it's very confusing. I do want to get at the truth. I am interested in protecting other people as well as protecting myself.
Yes, of course.
I'm not in that group to troll, but I do have questions about all this. I did try to invite the person who wrote that particular description of the different masks, but it turned out that the person who posted it wasn't the author.
Oh.
She just cut and pasted it. So she said she got a lot of responses and she's sorry, and she'll try to find out who the original author was so that I can get in touch with that person.
See, that's really nice that she's going to track it down, but that is also one of my big complaints about dun dun dun, the meme. Because the
It
meme
wasn't even a meme. It was
it wasn't a meme, but just any of those cut and paste, anything like that.
Yeah, it was
like,
cut and
I'm not
paste
even.
here.
No, this was actually really good. This was informative. This was a good piece. Like, I can tell who wrote that did research it. But where I get kind of frustrated is where people will just cut and paste a lot of things and we don't really know where it came. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. At least she can track it down. That's OSHA. Like, that person has background. I'm not denying that.
Yeah, no, I think that was really based on knowledge, but I would like to.
Oh, that was good. And you know
Yeah.
why I liked it is because the people who keep saying to wear the mask, they've never broke it down like that for me. How come they don't know?
Yeah.
But we have somebody who actually knows, and they actually said something that I suspected all along, that the cloth mask might get moldy on the inside. And boy, oh boy, that was one of the problems that we think we had with the cloth masks, that we washed them and something's just not right with them after a while.
Yeah, so I think we should sign off for now.
Okay.
This will make it a short and sweet broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And be sure and leave comments and chat with us when this is live. And I'll talk to you very soon, Julia. Okay?
I'll see you in a bit, Aya. Bye.
Bye.